promotion slash promoter of the year. Why don't you go first, Ade?
Now look at you.
What?
Hey, look at look at you.
What? What?
Throw me the hot coal.
What?
Come on, they catch the hot coal.
Why? You want me to go
Catch it.
first? I'm happy to go first.
No,
It's an easy one.
First.
It's a layup.
It's an easy. No, well, it's not an easy. No, it's not. It's not because this one is
Easy.
confusing. It's confusing because, I mean, all right, look, Riyadh season, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. Is he a promoter?
100%.
If he is okay, and Riyadh season is a promotion.
100%.
Then it's easy. Then it's Riyadh season and it's His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. They've put on the best events this year. They've put on so many. Was it 9? They did in 2024, I believe. 7 in Riyadh and then LA and Wembley. I mean, you struggle to pick the best one out of those. They've all been big. We've had fights that we didn't expect. We've had undisputed fights that we didn't expect. That would never have happened if it wasn't for Riyadh season. We wouldn't have seen Fury Usyk, let alone see it twice. We wouldn't have seen Bivol Beterbiev because it's a fight that financially doesn't bring in the big dollars, and both of them would want to get paid, so we wouldn't have seen that as well. I don't think we would have seen AJ Dubois at Wembley. Maybe, maybe not. So look, I think it's easy. I think it's His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. I think it's Riyadh season, and I think they've changed the landscape of boxing for good. I really do. I think it's completely changed now to the point where we now expect to see a Super Bowl-esque, WrestleMania-esque fight card every couple of months, and when we don't get one, we moan. That's what he's done to the sport of boxing. So quite easily, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh.
1,000% in agreement. 1,000%. That is the one that was the easiest one of them all, honestly, for me to choose. And the truth is this. That man, Turki Al-Sheikh, has revolutionized boxing. He has given hope to boxing, right? He has given hope to boxing fans. All these fights that we thought could not happen, all these fights that we thought were impossible, that there would be a myriad of egos and roadblocks in the way, they're all possible. It doesn't matter. This upcoming card, what does it have? 7 of the top promoters all involved, and that's the norm. It's not special, the February 22nd card. It's now the norm. I remember we were in London for the Joe Joyce, Zhilei Zhang press conference and had the opportunity to sit down with Frank Warren at the time. And he previewed that there was going to be a game changer announcement to come, right? And he said that this is coming in the coming days. And it ended up being the Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury fight. But the detail that we all missed in all of that was the introduction, if you will, of Turki Al-Sheikh to the world of boxing. And since then, October of 2023, up until now and beyond, they've revolutionized the game. And I can understand why someone sits back and goes, like, wait a second, where's their promoter license? Technically, they don't have one. And so technically, we're both wrong if you want to go by technicalities. But let's be honest, they are the promotion of the year. He is the promoter of the year. And I'll go one step further, and I'll give you a little preview. Here at Uncrowned, we're going to be working on a list in the year of 2025. Who are the top 25 most powerful and influential people in combat sports, because we are the home of combat sports, and so we cover MMA, boxing, and pro wrestling. Number 1, easy, I'll spoil it right now, is Turki Al-Sheikh. We have never seen someone be that influential in all 3 facets, all 3 genres at the same time. Boxing, he's revolutionized. He has the deal with the UFC. There's a Saudi deal with the PFL as well. UFC is going there for a fight headlined by Israel Adesanya on February 1st. First time in 7 years that Izzy doesn't fight for a belt. He's headlining No Problem Fight Night in Riyadh. And then you see what they're doing in pro wrestling. They just announced yesterday that the Royal Rumble is coming to Saudi in 2026. It's never been outside of the United States. Not to mention all the other times that you're just watching Monday Night Raw on Monday, or a random Golden Boy card, or a random MMA event, and you see that Riyadh season logo on the canvas. They're everywhere. He's everywhere. They've revolutionized the game. And if you don't acknowledge that, if you don't want to give them their props for what they've done to actually make combat sports better, you're a hater. You're kind of just being a hater at this point.
Yeah, you are. Don't stutter through it, Ariel. You're hating. Well, if you don't acknowledge what he's done and what he's given, there's at least 3 of the fight cards from Riyadh season this year. I've been around real boxing people that have covered the sport for 30, 40 years, and they've said this could be the greatest fight card I've ever seen. They've said it 3 times.
Yeah.
Not once, twice, 3 times they've said this could be the greatest fight card I've ever seen. That doesn't happen. It's not normal. And I think the biggest point you made there was he's brought all the promoters together. These people that weren't talking in fights, never spoken. They've all of a sudden, we're seeing Eddie and Frank together doing kumbaya around the fire because of Turki Al-Sheikh. We see it's insane. The February 22nd fight card coming up is frightening. I mean, Joshua Boatsy, Callum Smith walks first. That headlines an O2 Arena. I point because O2 is just over there.
Yeah.
That headlines the O2 Arena fight card. That's walking first. Honestly, it's insane. It's insane. I thought we might get one of these Riyadh season cards a year.
Yeah.
When I covered Fury and Garner, I was like, oh, okay, this is great. See you next year, October. We've had 8 since then. Nah, it's easily the greatest thing ever. Easily.
Yeah, and the bar is so high. And honestly, this isn't one of our talking points or categories, but it's really, as far as boxing in particular is concerned, but you can say it for all forms of combat sports, it's really the story to watch once again this year. It was my story to watch going into 2024, how they would influence all forms of combat. And again, now with the acquisition of the Ring magazine, he's already hinted at his plans for, ring-only events outside of the Riyadh season banner, right? And so what does that look like? Who is he partnering up with? There has been some rumors of him potentially partnering up with Dana White for a boxing promotion. Dana's been talking about, finally dipping his toe into the world of boxing. We know he's very close with the TKO group, with the WWE and UFC. The one thing that they're missing is boxing. Are we going in that direction? Is he going to be involved? Again, all these things are very valid questions to ask because there are no limits. He has shown that there are no limits. And of course, they have, an undeniable amount of wealth. And with that, doors are open. There's basically 2 guys who, for whatever reason, they haven't been able to do business with just yet in the world of boxing. That's Canelo and Tank Davis. I don't even think it's impossible for that to happen in 2025 just because of the possibilities here. And so he has clearly shown that he is open to doing business with everyone. And I love the story that Eddie Hearn told on a show recently. I think it was with the legendary Steve Bunce, where initially Eddie was very critical of Fury and Ngannou, and he was talking all kinds of smack. And then all of a sudden, he gets a message from Turki Al-Sheikh, and it's essentially like, hey, are you with us or are you against us? And Eddie went running, and look at him now. Look at him now. So,
and by the way, let's not forget the mini concerts. I know some people don't like them because, and I get it. If you're at home, it's probably a different feeling to when you're there. But I mean, to have Oasis or Liam Gallagher, was it Liam or no? Whoever it is, one of the Gallaghers.
You should know.
Wembley Stadium. I don't really know. I'm more into my hip hop. Then you had Mary J. Blige and Busta Rhymes and Ciara. I mean, honestly, I can't speak highly enough of how he's transformed the sport of boxing. I am a boxing fan, and I'm getting fights that I could only dream of, fights that would never happen. I made YouTube videos crying, like why, when, and why, what's going on with the sport of boxing? All of a sudden, my cries are over. No more tears. My dreams and my prayers have been answered.
By the way, just for fun, if there's a stickler out there who's like, he's not a licensed promoter, of the actual promoters out there, who would you give it to? Consolation prize.
Consolation prize. Probably Frank Warren. But then the problem is, when I say that, in my head, I just realized I'm thinking Riyadh season as well. Well, I think Frank was firstly aligned to Turkey before Eddie was. Eddie's done a great job. Eddie's in Australia right now.
Yeah.
Doing the Jar Patai. So Eddie's worldwide, isn't he? He's Mexico. I mean, he's doing everything. USA, Mexico, Riyadh, London, everywhere, Eddie. So Eddie's probably more of a worldwide promoter. So maybe Eddie, but Frank just seems to Frank just keeps on going. Just keeps on going. He's been doing this for 40 years and just doesn't seem to slow down. It's tough. It's not easy.
There are great characters in the world of boxing when it comes to the promoters. Way better than MMA. We are very lucky when it comes to boxing. The likes of Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, and of course Oscar De La Hoya with his content as of late.
Bob Arum's crazy.
He's enjoyed a renaissance. Bob Arum is out there. Ben Shalom, Dimitri Salita, Todd DeBuff is getting pushed into that role for Top Rank. But to me, it's a very easy one. It's Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, in my opinion, in the truest sense of a promoter, meaning the guy at the dais who sells the fights to you, the P.T. Barnum, carnival barker, if you will. And I don't say that in a disrespectful way, but that's what a promoter is, and he's very proud of that moniker. He's the best in the business, and I would argue the best in combat sports in terms of getting you emotionally invested in the fights. and his motor is unbelievable. He reminds
Dude,
me
I don't know how he does it.
of a prime Dana White, 2006, 2007 Dana White. There would be a line of people wanting to do one-on-ones with him, and that's what Eddie does now. And you'll go on these YouTube channels, and it's literally Dana would give you one interview a week. Eddie's giving you 6 or 7. Now, I would argue if I'm, Matchroom PR, let's worry about oversaturation. You don't have to do one of these interviews every single day on fight week, but that's just how he is. He's just constant, and he'll go from one side of the globe to the next. So for me, if we're not going to go the Turkey route, which to me, it's obviously him. If you want to go true sense, promoter license, old school rules, then it's Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's insane. Like when he does the press conferences, and look, I've done those, and they're not easy. And he has no papers in front of him. Other promoters do. Right?
Yeah.
They're reading, and he's just giving off the names of the fighters, the records, and it's just insane. He's going down the barrel of the camera. Honestly, I didn't want to mention him first because how do you work for Matchroom? Yeah, kissing his backside, blah blah blah. But honestly, when you watch him up close, and it's incredible. Honestly, it makes me want to up my game every single time because I just think I don't know how he does it. I don't know how you can go from event to event to event, different countries, and still have that same energy all the time. Remarkable.